Hi, this is Cher with Psychic Mist Paranormal Network. There are a lot of ways you can go about getting EVPs, and one of those ways is for the entity to use the human voice. So the EVPs I have for you today are going to sound quite a bit different than a lot of EVPs you might hear, and that is because the entity used the human voice to do it. More precisely, my voice and my daughter's voice to do it. And it might be even more surprising because you would think, okay, two women's voices, but most of these sound like a really deep man's voice. Crazy. Well, there's a reason for that too, but that's for a different video. And this one, though, has a cool story behind it. So my daughter's been investigating with me for about 18 years or so. And this happened about 10 years ago. And it all started with us being bored. And of course, our go-to is, let's check out the spirits tonight. So we did. And we managed to get something we really did not expect at all. We both sat at the computer trying to ask questions of the spirits. We really weren't getting anywhere with that. So we just started getting goofier and goofier by the minute. When we finally gave up trying to talk to the spirits, that's exactly when we made contact with them. And it all started out with a meow. So that meow was my daughter sporting her best kitty sound. After the meow, we just decided to just keep doing goofy things, and then all of a sudden we started hearing voices in those sounds and crazy things we were doing. We played it back and tried to figure out what the voices were saying, but we couldn't tell, so we kept going. There was one voice that stuck out more than others, so we asked if this entity, it sounded like a man, could identify himself. That is when we got the following EVP that says, "I'm Lord Murphy."
Elwood Murphy. Elwood Murphy.
So that is when my daughter and I were like, oh wow, we got a lord. A lord of what? Lord Murphy never did really come right out and give us that information, but with further communication, we figured it out. So we started out with the basic questioning, but instead of giving us the answers to those questions, he started to tell us a story. Over a period of 2 days, we got enough information to piece together Lord Murphy's demise. Unfortunately, some EVPs were corrupted and lost, but I still have enough information to share with you. He started off his story saying, last night, meaning the last night of his life. Lord Murphy wanted his brother Lou to go with him on a big drug deal, but Lou said he was busy. So now we have a drug lord.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Lou ended up going with Lord Murphy anyway. When Lord Murphy and Lou got to the location, they knew something wasn't right. There was too many people there, and they saw something that tipped them off that they were planning an ambush against them, and they hid and watched. Lord Murphy said that there were 2 friends of theirs being held captive by the people they were selling to. These 2 friends were Jennifer and Sal. Apparently, Sal must have spilled the beans about something he shouldn't have. Lord Murphy and Lou waited and watched, but the people that were holding Jennifer and Sal killed Jennifer and Sal. Not very nice. Lou told Lord Murphy that he was freaking out and that Lord Murphy should beat this guy, the guy that killed Jennifer and Sal.
I'm freaking out. Oh, you must be gun. I'm freaking out. Oh, you must be gun.
Lou asked Lord Murphy if the people he was selling to were really after him instead, and it must have been the case. And then Lou's like, "Are you serious?"
Easier for you. Easier for you. Why no serious? Why no serious?
Lord Murphy said that the enemy seen them.
Any see this? Any see this?
Apparently there was a shootout, and Lou was shot. It was sad. Lou didn't even want to go that night. As he was dying, Lou asked Lord Murphy to hold him.
Hold me. Hold me.
One of Lou's final things that he said to Lord Murphy was that someday he would realize, meaning that, hopefully he'll wise up and get out of that life someday.
Someday he'll realize. Someday he'll realize.
Lord Murphy confirmed that Lou died. So I asked Lord Murphy if he died too that night, which I felt was pretty obvious that he did, but I just was looking for confirmation. His response was, there is no survive. It sounded like survivors, but it was cut off.
There's no survive. There's no survive.
I asked Lord Murphy where this event took place, and he said that he is from the New World City.
He from Mineral City. He from Mineral City.
Lord Murphy's girlfriend Laura was speaking to his spirit after he died, and she told him that she saw what happened.
I believe your assistant. I believe your assistant.
She also told him the following EVP as well.
There's gonna redo it. There's gonna redo it.
I asked him if he regretted living this kind of life, and his response was, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
So this is a sad and tragic story right from the deceased. So the second day of communication with Lord Murphy, my son, who was a very young teen at the time, saw a ghost upstairs when we were working with Lord Murphy downstairs. And it really scared him. He said it was a man that fit the description of Lord Murphy. He didn't even know we were doing this. After that, we never heard from Lord Murphy again. This entity came through using a very difficult EVP method, but he got to tell his story and lift some of his burden. I hope Lord Murphy found peace. Thanks for joining me. This is Shara Psychic Mass. Till next time.